everyone, my name is Michelle Rohde, your local financial advisor and wealth coach. And the name of this show is Design a Life You Love, and that's the name of my vision board workshops too. So why is this the name, and what do I mean by that, and how exactly do you design a life you love?
Inspire the best version of yourself with tips and skills you can implement right away. Look, it's a mind, body, and soul connection, and we all know that when we feel better, we do better. Your future starts now.
I've come to learn over the years through my mentors, other coaches, and through my own experience how to design a life you love. Tony Robbins speaks to this, Wallace D. Wattles, Napoleon Hill, Christy Whitman, all different genres, but so many others, living and past, talk about being a deliberate creator of your own reality, and knowing that you have the power to do that. And there's a number of ways to go about it, none being wrong or right or more right than another. Making the effort to try to design your life the way you want is the most important part, knowing that you are able to do that. And you don't have to stay stuck on the hamster wheel of life. Is probably the most important things. But regardless, I'd like to share a couple of ways that you can design a life you love, and then dig in a little deeper to those. So first of all, I've talked about this in numerous videos, but you have to know what you want and why you want it. So go back to my goal setting video that I recorded in the past and really attempt to set some goals, and goals that are meaningful. So that's the first thing. Start there. You have to know what you want and why you want it. And then number two, you need to see yourself achieving those things. You need to take a moment to visualize yourself achieving those goals that you have. So daydream a little bit, have fun with it. And then you need to believe. And this is really important. I don't want to glaze over this, because it's one thing to say you need to see yourself and believe it can happen for you, but you really need to understand that you are deserving, you are worthy, and you are capable of having those big things that you want. And don't limit yourself on those goals. I talk about that in the goal video too. Go big. Write down the things on your bucket list. We only get this one life as far as we know, so why not make the best of it? So know that you can have what you want. You're worthy, you're deserving. Don't count yourself out. Don't limit yourself. Worry about what other people will think, or let fear play into it, because those are things that are just going to hold you back. And if you really want those goals, you've got to set those on the back burner in order to move forward. So how can you do that? How can you have faith in something? Well, proof definitely helps, but we don't always have proof readily available, and that's, honestly what faith is going on something, believing in something when you don't have proof. But proof helps, so why not? If you can get some proof, that will help you build a little bit of faith, build a little bit of confidence. And what do I mean by that? Well, first identify those goals, like I said. Then look at the people in your life or on television who have those things that you want. Look at their personal stories. Be an investigator. Dig into how did they get what they have. And then I think what you'll start to see is you'll bridge that gap between where you are and where those people are, and realize y'all are all human, you've all had struggles, and that you too can get to where they are, because you're more similar to them than you think. They're not so different from you. And I think that'll help you to start to design a life you love by realizing that you can have that, just like anyone else. Third, you need to craft a plan. And then most importantly, take action on that plan. So that kind of ties into that second tip, finding proof so that you can build some faith. And when you're doing that investigating, when you're quizzing the people in your life who have what you want or researching them online, you'll start to see what action steps you need to take to obtain your goals. So start to jot those down, create an action plan, and then just don't let it create dust. Don't let it accumulate dust. You'll want to start to take action. That is a big key to success, is making sure that you actually start to take action and don't give up and keep trying. And then lastly, something I've noticed that really sets people apart who've designed a life they love is that they feel into the emotion of gratitude daily. So whether you're visualizing things that you're grateful for that you already have, or you're journaling about those things, or you're doing it in prayer, it's really important to visit that emotion of gratitude daily, because that will help you to bring more of what you want into your life. You want to feel more happy. You want to have more things to be grateful for. So if you can visit that once a day, I think it'll help bridge that gap again between where you are and where you want to be with what you're lacking in your life, whatever that may be. So those are the 4 big things I've noticed from my mentors and my coaches that they're doing in order to obtain big success in their life. So it's know what you want and why, goal set, right? And then you need to see yourself achieving it and believe it's possible for you. And then just have faith for a little while in that journey. There's going to be some stumbling blocks. There's going to be some learning, teachable moments that you're going to grow from when you make mistakes or mess up. Know that there's a gift in that, okay? And you just got to sit with it for a little while, and that the reward is pushing through that to see what's on the other side. And I promise you the reward will be great for doing so if you just stick it out and try to maintain gratitude in the midst of all that for what you already have, for the breath that you're already taking every day, for the gift of getting to live and getting to have relationships. So appreciate those things that you already have in your life. And then keep taking that action. So those are the basics. I think a lot of us know those basics already intuitively. If you're into trying to be more successful in any area of your life, you've probably already heard a lot of those things. But I think we need to dig a little deeper on that. So why do you not have what you want? Or how do you get to the next level if you already have what you want in your life? You just want to see greater success, greater growth. So to visit that, to dig a little deeper, I want you to think about something you want more of in your life, something you want to experience to a greater degree. Do you want more family time? Do you want more freedom? Do you want more income? Do you yearn for a better relationship with your spouse or family members or friends? Do you desire to be more fit, to have more energy, maybe to have more free time to do meal planning, to go shopping, to run errands, more time to yourself? What are the things that you yearn for right now that you're struggling to obtain? So those are the 4 basic steps to designing a life you love. But I want to explain a little bit further because I feel like we can talk about this all day long. And you've probably already heard it if you're on the search to achieve your goals. And it makes sense mentally, those 4 steps that we've all probably heard before and I've mentioned time and time again. But few do anything about it. You hear it, you soak it in, you know it's good advice, but you don't implement it. So I want you to think about something in your life that you want more of, that you want to experience more. Do you want more family time, more travel time, higher income? What is it? So let that come to mind. Now what I need you to do This is the part that is going to be the difference between knowing those 4 steps to designing a life you love and then actually doing something about it. What action steps do you really need to take to design a life you love? What's going to make the difference between hearing those 4 tips and actually achieving it? So you're going to need to do something a little crazy. You're going to need to think outside the status quo box that society has put you in. And get outside your comfort zone for just a minute. Go a little crazy and actually think about doing something wild, like fulfilling those bucket list items that you want. The things that you jot down that you really desire but think you're never going to get. So, other people who have what you want, what have they done? What does their life look like? Are you making assumptions about yourself that you can't have what they have? Have you taken yourself out of the game and think that's not for you? I've got to work 9 to 5 just like my parents did. Or maybe you're not even thinking about it. You're just going through the motions because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to college full time. You're supposed to go to work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, maybe even work a lot of overtime because that's what your dad did or your mom did, take an extra job. Work yourself to death. Day in, day out, run your kids to after-school activities, try to figure out this fitness and nutrition thing on top of it, try to pay off the debt that you've gotten yourself into because that's what you were supposed to do is get student debt in order to go to college, and try to get a mortgage paid off, try to save up money for retirement at the same time, day in, day out, hard life for the next 85 years till you're dead. That sounds horrible. That sounds hard. It sounds miserable. Who wants to do that? So what is the kind of life that we want to live? We want to live a life of more freedom, where we have more time to ourselves, more time to travel, more fun experiences with the ones that we love, more money in the bank account, less debt. So how do you get there? That's the part that's going to make the difference between where you are, where you want to be, and the 4 steps I just mentioned. You've got to figure that part out. You've got to figure out how can your life look different than the status quo. So, what are some things that you could actually do? What are some real tangible things you can start to do to design a life you love? Well, could you maybe talk to your boss or your employer, or if you're self-employed, look at your own business. Is there a way for you to maybe take off an hour or 2 early every day and come in an hour or 2 earlier so that you can have more freedom in your lifestyle, so that you can exercise like you want to, or run the errands so that you can meal prep like you want to, or have more free time to play with your kids, for example. So doing something like that, thinking outside the box and not just settling for working the set hours you think you have to. Negotiate, barter, try to figure out a way to design your life so that it feels a little bit better. Maybe you're married and you haven't had a date night in years, and it's killing you. The passion is gone, you're bored to death, life is hard, but you don't have the money or you don't know a babysitter. What do? You get creative. You start to figure out when you really want something, the next step, the thing that's going to make you successful and have a life that you love, that you've designed, is trying to figure out how you can change what you don't like. That's the extra step. That's the 5th step, is taking the action, getting creative, and then actually changing things. So maybe you could find another couple with kids who also desire to have a date night really, really bad. And y'all could barter that you will watch their children. They can have a fun little play date with your kids one evening while the other couple goes out and enjoys themselves. And then next weekend, y'all switch. They watch your kids develop a really great relationship with some new children. They're having fun, they're having a good time, and then mommy and daddy get to get away for a nice date night. Didn't cost you a thing. You've built some relationships and you've created some space for yourself to rekindle the passion in your life. So that's just another example. You can do this in your relationships. You can do this in your work life. You've got to think outside the box and step off of the hamster wheel Get away from the status quo and what you think you have to do and start getting creative. Let's say there's something materialistic you want, or maybe some program that you want to buy to further your education. You don't have the money to do it though. And so most people stop there. I can't do that, not meant for me. No, if you really want this thing, you can figure out a way. Just sell some of the junk you have lying around that you're not using. Then bam, you've got what you want. Or pick up a side hustle. Something that you're passionate about. If you love makeup or you love fitness, you can start a side hustle to make the money to get the other things that you want in your life. So you've just got to get creative and take it one step further to create a life that you love. But you are the designer. You're the artist. You're the creative person. You are totally capable of creating it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. You've just got to take the time to figure out what you want and then figure out a creative course of action. And then be brave. Just ask. Doesn't hurt to ask if you can take off at 3 on a Friday and come in a little earlier instead, so that you have a little bit more fun on Fridays. So those are some ideas. I hope they help y'all. And stay tuned for the next show where I'm going to bring you more tips to show you how to design a life you love. Bye!